the wild chaga, in addition to being literally one of the highest gram for gram antioxidant rich foods on the planet, it has some other powerful components in there, such as um, B vitamins. And so this is another nourishing factor to help support you, and even help your metabolism. Because if
Hmm.
your metabolism's sluggish, you're not going to be filtering out these toxins like you're supposed to, where they're going to stay longer in your body.
Right.
And so B vitamins can help with the metabolism picture, something you find pretty high. There's about 5 different B vitamins in chaga, including biotin, which is helpful for skin and hair. But yeah, just naturally, topically, we've seen so many benefits with people that we know, that we work with, that we help. And, that's why we put it in our cream, because we really believe it's a nourishing factor and a natural skin repair factor that you can utilize.
Amazing. Can you flash that one more time on the screen just so the online viewers can see what this looks like when they come into the store? There you go. The black seed cream.
Yep.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Healthy Habit Podcast. Look who's back. My good friend, full of education, full of knowledge, Mr. Steven Harkins, the Director of Education at North American Herb and Spice. Today we're talking skin health, the integumentary system for all the nerds out there. Steve, the stage is yours, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much. You're a gracious host as always, Dr. Dehan. I appreciate it very much. So we thought we'd talk about the skin category today. I'm sure many of you have been feeling the effects of the sun and what that does to the skin. And we loved it. It's good in small doses, but it's very easy to dry up, shrivel up, look like a prune. And so we wanted to focus on certain key areas that made sense within that. So some subcategories such as hydration, keeping your skin hydrated and moisturized in these hot times. And then also nourishment, just like your other organs of your body, with the skin being the largest of them, you need absolute nourishment for your skin. If you're lacking in something, it will show up. And then also you've got the skin's natural ability to repair itself. If you've ever cut yourself, if you've ever been scratched, if you've ever been burned, you'll notice the skin on its own will absolutely fill in those extra layers of dermis and the different layers of the skin, including your collagen being another factor we'll touch on. And then finally, detoxification and cleansing. This is something periodically we always recommend, and the kind of the connection between liver and skin health.
Amazing. Yeah, again, hydration, how to nourish the skin with nutrition, how facilitating the skin's ability to heal itself faster, and like you said, detox and liver support. Because in Chinese medicine, those are reflections of how good our skin health is, right?
Yes.
If you're detoxing properly and if the liver's functioning properly, chances are you'll have better skin. So those are connected organ systems. So let's start off with Purely E. By the way, look at that window behind Steven for all the YouTube viewers. I remember one of our first episodes this year, 2023, it was all white back there. There was snow. It was cold. So now we got that summer sun coming through the window. So that's amazing. I'm sure you're enjoying that weather.
My absolute favorite season of the year, by far. But it's nice to have 4 seasons. So yeah, before you know it, we'll have some white back here again for
right. It's coming. It's coming. All right, so let's start with Purely E, and then after that, we're gonna hit on black seed cream. The last time we had you on, we talked about that black seed cream option. So we're gonna definitely touch on that today. But let's start with Purely E. Go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts on how important vitamin E is for the skin.
I think it's often underestimated. I think vitamin E in general is like a forgotten vitamin. It's we talk about it when we talked about the heart. We talked about how important it was. But again, skin is your largest organ of the body, and vitamin E. You'll probably see it in different lotions, creams when you go out, and it'll tell you as a selling point, "Hey, we got vitamin E here." And that's because vitamin E is nourishing to the skin. It literally feeds the skin. So if the skin was eating a diet, it would definitely require this vitamin. And it's important to get it in its whole complex, really from foods What we offer at North American Herb and Spice is a liquid drops option. This is something you can put directly on your skin. This is sunflower seed oil, pumpkin seed oil, and red palm oil
Hmm.
from Africa. And so together, by putting all of these together, you get the entire E complex, which means everything. It's important to get the whole picture, the cofactors, and not just part of it. And a lot of times what you see in those skincare products is just a fraction of the complex. So, everything that the skin is really wanting to drink up. And of course, we've seen anecdotally, people come out of surgery, for example, ladies out there who've had the C-section and the scar tissue afterwards. If you hit it with some vitamin E right away, you'll be shocked at how accelerated the natural skin repair process can be. And that's just one example. But it's good to just proactively give yourself, that diet
Right.
topically and internally.
And again, that's the Purely E, which is a whole food source vitamin E supplement. And if you haven't met him yet, come talk to Stan, the demo man. He's right here. When you turn right, you walk into the building, you make a right, and there is Stan right there. He has samples and giveaways and books authored by Dr. Cass Ingram. Ask him about the Purely E. Let's break down that formula then, Stephen. Where is the E coming from in the Purely E, and why is it different from different vitamin E products that aren't from food?
Yes, yes. It's important because synthetically speaking, you usually get and this is 90% of the vitamin E that you'll find usually, and you'll see something like alpha tocopherol. If you go to the back and read the ingredients, that's what you'll see. And so that's 1 out of 8 of the cofactors in a vitamin E complex. What you really have is, I'll break it down for you. It's tocopherols. There's a group of that. There's 4 of them: alpha, beta, delta, gamma. And then there's another grouping called tocotrienols. And then you have alpha, beta, delta, gamma.
Hmm.
We have all 8 of those. It's pretty much unheard of. You'd be hard pressed to even find that. And we had to take 3 superfoods in nature: the Austrian pumpkin seed oil, you know where that comes from, Austria, the sunflower seed from the good old USA, and then also red palm, which we are getting from Northern Africa. And I will say it's done in a sustainable way, not like palm oil, but red palm oil, where it can be regenerated again and not mess with the animals and their habitats. And that together gives us total complex. So you're going to get the best possible results in this manner.
I remember a few months ago when you were on, you mentioned the fact that red palm oil is one of the highest sources of vitamin E on the planet. Is that right?
Yeah, good memory. Yes. Yeah,
That's
it's one of the
unbelievable.
probably top 3 sources. You'd be surprised how much vitamin E and beta carotene, very high in vitamin A as well.
And then obviously vitamin E is one of the fat soluble vitamins with A, D, E, and K. So it makes sense that it's naturally found in higher fat foods like palm oil, right? Because it
Right.
helps it get absorbed better. Is that right?
Yes, exactly right. Yes, fat soluble for your skin.
Amazing, Steven. So is this in soft gel, capsule form, powder, and how much vitamin E are they getting per dose?
So you are getting, well, we do offer drops and we do offer soft gels.
Okay.
So I like the drops because I can take them under the tongue, but I can also put it directly on the skin. And it tastes good. I mean, it's going to taste like sunflower and pumpkin seed oil, so it tastes pretty good. You don't need much with vitamin E, as you mentioned, it's fat soluble. So as far as daily requirements goes, um, I don't have the IU in front of me, but it's
Sure.
typically with the drops, you're going to be looking at about 5 drops, 5 to 10 drops, even if you're undernourished. And you can do that in a daily basis. Once you're fully nourished, you just kind of maintenance it 2 to 3 times a week. And with the soft gel, you just need one. There's 60 in the bottle, so you've got a good 60-day supply. And that's what I love. The vitamin E product does last for months at a time, so you get a good value.
Amazing. So that's the Purely E, folks. Again, Healthy Habit Health Foods. We have it right here on the shelf waiting for you. And come talk to Stan, and he'll point you in the right direction. Nigella sativa, folks. Black seed oil. That's the formal botanical name, Nigella sativa. also known as black cumin seed. There's so many reviews right now that I've pulled up here, and if people like to go deeper, just go to Google and type in black seed skin health and then add the word scholar at the end. Black seed skin health scholar. And right away you can see here a review on dermatological effects of black seed. So many different skin issues it can potentially benefit. Let's hear about your thoughts on black seed cream for the skin.
Just amazing, something that I can say I do it myself every single day. And in the winter, I get the dry skin, and in the summer, I get the dry skin because I'm getting dehydrated. So I'm always doing this every single morning. I do 2 squirts of this, and it just covers my bald head and the rest of my face
Okay.
here. And, so black seed is something that has been used for thousands of years. I mean, we're just now hearing about it. We're late to the party as usual in the United States. But if you go to the Middle East, ancient Egypt, ancient Assyria, yeah, this is nothing new. Even ancient Israel, they did put this into an oil. They took the seeds, cold pressed it into an oil, and then put it on their skin and their hair, as well as internal. And not only is it, moisturizing and, protective with high antioxidants in the skin. If you have, um, infection, skin infection, that is a little more serious, this is where the studies come into play in terms of, bacterial, antimicrobial, naturally antiseptic. So you can put it on the surface of your skin and actually deal with some of these harmful microbes just by using something like this. And the cream itself that we're talking about, this formula, black seed being the starter here ingredient, also includes things like chaga, which we've mentioned before is one of the highest antioxidant rich foods on the planet. You're putting that on your skin, so you're preventing oxidation by doing so. And of course, Sacha inchi, you're putting omega-3s into your skin, working, supporting inflammation if you've got the irritation and the redness. Of course, the burns. This is excellent for sunburns. Just, take me to task on that the next time you get burned, and you will just be amazed. What I love the most about it is the purity, because I've never seen a cream without some kind of alcohol or some kind of propylene glycol, something undesirable. So every ingredient here is something that you can find in nature. And we even put like honey and bee products in here. So I could probably spend the whole, podcast just talking about the cream.
Yeah.
It's incredible stuff.
And you said there's honey in there. I'm glad you just squeezed that piece of info in because honey's a natural skin, it's so beneficial for the skin health all through human history. There's studies on diabetic wounds, people that have had ulcers because of diabetes in the legs and arms, and they pack it with honey. And actually cane sugar as well. There's studies on that too. I won't go into that now, but it's a whole nother discussion. And then it heals the skin nicely. I've even seen that here personally at the clinic over the years. People with really bad wounds on the bottom of the feet, they tried putting raw honey on there and it sealed it up. It's really amazing. So that's in there as well, the honey.
Yes, it is. And we call it the triple B, the honey, propolis, and royal jelly, all similar overlapping benefits there.
You mentioned Sacha inchi as well. Can you quickly highlight that?
Okay, because some of you, I'm sure, have not heard of Sacha inchi before. It grows in Peru. It's this little seed that we cold press into an oil and we put into this formula. And it is the highest plant source on the earth of omega-3s. And of course, we need omega-3s so badly. We're getting too much omega-6s in our cooking oils. And so this is something you put directly on the skin and work, supporting inflammation.
Amazing. Can you flash that one more time on the screen just so the online viewers can see what this looks like when they come into the store? There you go. The black seed cream.
Yep. And, you just take the top off. It has this little dispenser pump right here.
Perfect. I mean, look at Steve. You don't have a single blemish or anything on your face or head. This is unbelievable. So good stuff. You're walking the talk, my friend.
Yes. Important.
So again, black seed oil, purely E, we've been covering so far. It's all skin health today if you're just tuning in, and what we can do to nourish that skin with herbs, nutrients, and nature. So that takes us to Oreganol P73, one of the classics. And like we mentioned the last time you were on, Steven, black seed and oregano are two of the most common herbs you guys use across the spectrum in your different supplements here at North American Herb and Spice. So let's hear about oregano for the skin.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. They're our top two, guns in our arsenal, if you will. And oregano, of course, we can't talk about it enough. It is extremely rich in antioxidants. And so when you take this internally, all the studies show that your organs just thrive using the oregano. And so here we go back into the largest organ, back to the skin and the topical benefits. And so, inflammation support, pain support. There's a study out there talking about, and I've experienced this firsthand, the uh, the equivalency of topical morphine and topical
Hmm.
oregano in terms of, so we have people with sore hands, kind of like bad feet and circulation. It helps increase circulation around the body. And so you can, you think about that sciatic nerve, that back pain there. But, one of the best remedies naturally that we've seen for, supporting like acne and whatnot, coming on the face. I'm not immune to that. I get that sometimes
Right.
as well. And, it could be a sign of something else going on. But the oregano topically within, if I do nothing, it just drags out longer. If I put my wife and I, we put this topically, the next day or two, we're starting to see the skin starting to just kick in and recover from that. I highly recommend, and this is going to be more of the therapeutic kind of thing, just a direct oil, very potent, very concentrated.
I believe that. I mean, obviously, it depends on what's going on with the person, how severe the skin issues are. But I've used different herbal salves before, and literally the next morning, after you put it on before bed, you already see an improvement. So I'm not surprised at all. People just need to be more consistent and actually
That
try
is
it
the
for a
key.
couple days, right?
That is such a key. I'm glad you said that because, it's not a one and done. It is one of those things where you should, a good practice would be like twice a day until it's gone. And
Right.
so, yeah, stick with it.
Herbs aren't like drugs, like pharmaceutical medications where they just immediately kick in intensely, right? It's like going to the gym. You need to be consistent with it. You don't go
That-
once and turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
right. I've tried. Yes. Doesn't work.
Same thing with herbs. So, okay, sounds good then. Appreciate you sharing that then about oregano. It's a very strong antioxidant, anti-inflammatory agent. Same with black seed. They have similar properties. And so a lot of skin issues, the root issue is inflammation and poor oxidant status, right? So imagine you're getting that black seed on there, the oregano, it's going to start calming that skin down. So that can potentially help. How does wild chaga fit into the picture, Stephen?
Yes, well, the wild chaga, in addition to being literally one of the highest gram for gram antioxidant rich foods on the planet, it has some other powerful components in there, such as um, B vitamins. And so this is another nourishing factor to help support you, and even help your metabolism. Because if
Hmm.
your metabolism's sluggish, you're not going to be filtering out these toxins like you're supposed to, where they're going to stay longer in your body.
Right.
And so B vitamins can help with the metabolism picture, something you find pretty high. There's about 5 different B vitamins in chaga, including biotin, which is helpful for skin and hair. But yeah, just naturally, topically, we've seen so many benefits with people that we know, that we work with, that we help. And, that's why we put it in our cream, because we really believe it's a nourishing factor and a natural skin repair factor that you can utilize. I mean, it does so much else, but regarding the skin, and even supporting the inflammatory response thereof as well.
So for people new to this field, chaga, like you quickly mentioned, it's a mushroom, correct? But you
Yeah,
can't find it at like Sprouts or Whole Foods, like with like shiitake, white button mushrooms. How is it
yeah,
different from those?
it plays by a different set of rules than the other mushrooms, and it's even been called, for those who want to be technical, it's been called a fungal growth on the
Mm.
birch bark tree, and
Oh,
it's technically not a mushroom. You notice mushrooms are soft; they usually grow on the ground. This is hard. It's like a piece of tree bark, really, and you get a lot of that the bark with the chaga, which
oh
kind of
wow.
adds to the benefit. And so, yeah, it's just a fungal overgrowth, but it's a good fungus that we should all, kick into. I think for energy as well, you'll be surprised how if you're kind of stuck to like drinking coffee every single day. Chaga alone not only can help your skin, help your immune system, help your blood sugar support, major for that, but then also, give you that energy boost throughout the day.
Okay, so and we've had host defense mushrooms on the podcast before, just for full openness and clarity. We've discussed all kinds of mushrooms with you. We've talked about mushrooms. Specifically, chaga is the one that's really good for the skin, not really necessarily lion's mane. Or what are your thoughts on that versus like reishi and other mushrooms?
I think that they all have some kind of benefit for the skin. Like lion's mane, I
Okay.
like that one. I mean, that's good for keeping your brain going and flowing and, the nootropic nerve support. And they all have their own, kind of story to tell. Chaga, though, in terms of antioxidant content,
Okay.
we liken it to be the king of mushrooms for that reason. The SOD, the beta glucans, reishi is to me a close second.
Okay.
If I was going to pick something in addition, I like that combo, reishi and chaga together. And then of course we really take a lot of effort to source it from the wild, which means it takes years, 5 to 20 years to grow on the tree, and then somebody comes along and scrapes it off for us. And then that's what we put into, we grind that into a powder because it's so hard, then absorption is there for you. But yeah, so we really try to get it in the wild so you get the best effects. And in terms of skin, I couldn't think of a better mushroom fungal
Right.
supplement.
Because of that antioxidant status,
Yes,
it's in a
most likely.
league of its own. I remember Dr. Cass Ingram used to talk about where that chaga comes from up in the Canadian wilderness, right? With some of the other products like the Canadian mountain prairie honey and things like that. Is that true?
Yeah,
It's coming from the
yeah.
forest.
And you think about it, it works as a mechanism when the tree is sick.
Hmm.
This stuff grows out to protect and patch up the tree, the bark, which is really the skin, of the
Okay.
tree. And it survives in these harsh, cold climates, and that's what it likes to be. And so that's what's interesting to me is it nature is telling you something, that it protects the skin of the tree, and it will do the same thing for us.
Maybe with this last 5 minutes to go here, you can introduce the LivaClenz product. Liva like liver cleanse, LIVA, and then cleanse, CLENZ. LivaClenz product. Let's hear about it before
Yeah,
we move into our recap.
yeah,
It's
sure.
just there's so I need an hour with you, my friend.
I know. We used to do an hour, and
I
now
know.
we're trying to compress it down. So we'll give you the fast take here, but you know, detoxification is the name of the game. So this is the last part of our segment. And so if you've got toxins circulating around your bloodstream, they're going to rise up to the surface, and you're going to start to see signs on your skin where your body's saying, hey, I need a cleansing. I'm full of toxins. And this happens easier than you might think. It's in our air, it's in our water, in our food. And so from time to time, the liver, the filter, needs to be cleansed in
Mm,
order to cleanse the skin. And so liver and skin, we're looking at it holistically. The body's connected. It's one body, many different parts, but one unit. And so how do we do that? How do we, protect the liver? And so there are some herbs, there are some spice oils, and some greens like dandelion, and we put them all into this LivaClenz formula. We have oil drops. That's mostly just the spice oil component. And we have capsules. I have a little bit of a preference for the capsule because there's a few extra ingredients in that. And so I recommend that particularly. And so imagine you're taking cilantro, which is heavy metal. There's a lot of studies that talk about cleansing the heavy metals from the body, purging them out, because if those are in there, oh, you're going to have all kinds of problems, and it's going to mess with your thinking, your energy, and of
yeah.
course your skin. So just all you have to do is really just take these capsules on a consistent basis, as Dr. Dehan said, two to two once a day, or you can do it two twice a day, depending on the severity,
Hmm.
and start to clear things up. Because detox might be the missing component. We're thinking topical, but it's really from the inside out.
Right, like you mentioned, the liver. There's a strong connection with the liver and skin. Liver's a detox organ, but so is the skin. People don't realize that it's one of our four elimination organs. That's why it's porous. That's why we sweat to
Yes.
eliminate toxins through the skin as well. So they're strongly linked. And a perfect case in point and real life example of that is people with liver disease or alcoholic liver problems. Look at what happens to the skin, right? It turns yellow. You get that jaundice appearance when the liver is overburdened. So that's a perfect example to show you how they are linked truly in different conditions. So LivaClenz, again, come talk to Stan, the demo man. We highlighted Purely E. LivaClenz, we highlighted the black seed cream, Oreganol P73, and of course, the wild Chaga. Maybe we'll do a part 2 on skin health because it's
Yeah.
really, really dry here this time of year. You know, a lot of people are looking for skin support. They're coming to the clinic for IVs to help stay hydrated. So now imagine you throw some black seed cream on top in there as well. We'll be off to the races.
Yes.
Steve, let's give us a little recap here, 60 seconds or so. I appreciate having you on.
Yeah, so when it comes to your skin, you want to think about hydration. You want to think about nourishment, and that comes from like your vitamin E, like we talked about. You want to think about facilitating the body's natural ability to heal in terms of skin regeneration.
Yeah,
And you want to talk you, and that's chaga. Chaga can help you there with antioxidants. And then we've got the detoxification via the LivaClenz, putting that together.
amazing. Thank you for your time. As always, Mr. Steven Harkins, Director of Education at North American Herb and Spice, one of our amazing partners here at Healthy Habit Health Foods in the Medical Center.
My pleasure.
Appreciate having you on, buddy.
Take care.